So it's fair to say women's sport has come a long way. And 50 years ago, a bill was signed into law that changed the trajectory of women's sport across America, Title IX. Now, with women's golf reaching historic purses and being played at iconic venues, it's a good time to look back at how we got here. Paige McKenzie has the story.
It took many years for me to be able to have equality. In the 60s and 70s, women could be teachers, but they couldn't be principals. Women could be nurses, but they couldn't be doctors.
Linda Vollstedt grew up like a lot of other girls in the 1950s, in a world where girls weren't supposed to play sports.
I grew up with a bunch of boys. They played football and baseball and basketball. They had organized sports, and I couldn't figure out how come they didn't have any organized sports for little girls. I was fortunate enough, my parents belonged to a country club, and they played golf, and so I played golf.
When it came time for college, Vollstedt earned an academic scholarship to Arizona State University, where she joined the golf team and hoped to eventually make golf her career.
The women's practice area was a dirt field in back of one of the buildings on campus. Now, the men got to play at the country clubs and practice there, but the women didn't get to.
Looky here, looky here. This is really something, Don. They look like athletes, and yet they're beautiful.
3 years after Vollstedt graduated, a bill called Title IX of the Education Amendments was created by Congresswoman Patsy T. Mink and Edith Green, Senator Birch Bayh, and Dr. Bernice Sandler. On June 23, 1972, the bill was signed into law.
Women need to have a more direct voice. Until we do, the maxim of our democracy, quote, of the people and by the people, is diminished by half.
While the law was intended for education programs that received federal financial assistance, sports became a primary benefactor. But that didn't mean change came easy. Like many trailblazers, Vollstedt didn't conform.
When I first started coaching, Title IX was in existence, but it certainly wasn't being followed. There was quite a few of us women coaches that were pioneers back then. Pat Wise from University of Texas, Dale McNamara at Tulsa.
My mom, she was into philanthropy. She was fighting for things a lot. You know, fighting for money, fighting for uniforms, fighting for good accommodations, fighting for her salary.
Equality, development, peace. These are the goals for the coming years. They underscore the belief that women's destiny is the same as all humanity's.
When I got hired in 1980, it was part-time. Men's coach was full-time. I made $8,000 a year. He made $40,000 a year. He had an office with a beautiful window. It was a beautiful office. My office was in a storage room in the basement of the arena. So I went to the women's athletic director, and I looked at her and I said, you know, things aren't right here. And she looked at me and she said, honey, that's just the way it is. It's a man's world, and you better get used to it.
Great pun, great pun.
During her 21-year tenure, she transformed Arizona State's women's golf program into a dynasty and captured 6 national championships. In Oklahoma, the University of Tulsa's Dale McNamara did the same. Little did she know at the time, one of her first recruits, a young girl named Nancy Lopez, would elevate women's golf to become one of the school's most popular sports.
This kid out in New Mexico, she's something else. And I said, we have a brand new program, and you would make it instant edition. We signed her. It was phenomenal.
McNamara remained at Tulsa for 26 years, collecting 81 career victories.
Dale started from the very bottom. She gave us all a chance to be the best we could be.
Many more players and coaches across the country carried the torch. And now, more than 5 decades later, the impact of Title IX is felt by thousands.
It's helped girls find a passion for something that they had no idea they were going to be good at.
We have made huge strides. Locker rooms being the same, traveling the same. It takes time to build that.
The vast majority of coaches are women. Women's golf has gotten better and better. The whole thing is connected to Title IX.
I'm not so sure my life would look the way it does without it. I probably would not have gone to college. I probably would have been doing a completely different job.
I was fortunate to get a full ride at Arizona State University. I would not be here if I didn't get the chance or opportunity to come to the U.S. to go to the university.
Women today can wave to the roars of a crowd. They can be part of a team or find their calling. To be clear, the work is far from over. But for the ones who were brave enough to create opportunity, the future couldn't look more hopeful.
Women, they work really hard, and they're partners with the men. And that's the way it should be. We need to have the same opportunity, the same chances.
I just feel lucky to be living in the time frame that I do. 50th anniversary, Title IX, $10 million purse at the U.S. Open. I'm really excited to see how women's athletics and women's golf continue to grow.
A remarkable story. NBC Sports celebrates the 50th anniversary of Title IX. So for more stories like this, you can head over to nbcsports.com/Title IX. And I have to say, ladies, there is something sort of serendipitous about the 50th anniversary of Title IX landing this week at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, because this week is all about empowering women. We had the Leadership Summit yesterday and heard from some such inspiring women about, you know, making their way to the C-suite. And this is what it's all about, Amanda. Now, I am sat here with two incredibly elite college athletes, professional athletes. How have you sort of felt the benefits of Title IX across your life and career?
Well, like a lot of the girls on that said, like they wouldn't be where they were today. My entire junior career was dreaming about representing my college and playing collegiate golf. That was my goal. And you know, representing Duke was one of the greatest achievements that I ever had. And I had a family there, friends for life, and so obviously completely benefited. And you look even like my cousin, sorry Brianna, I'm throwing you under the bus a little bit, but she was not an all-star golfer. But because of Title IX, she was able to get a full ride to a small school in Michigan. So you didn't have to be that superstar. You didn't have to be that top amateur in the country to benefit from Title IX and still get to represent your school, still have that team and that community, and play just like the guys.
And Paige, I know you've written a fantastic article over on golfchannel.com about the feelings that you have about Title IX, but also how it affected your mum, because she was of the generation before Title IX, and the difference that made to her.
Yeah, it was interesting when Golf Channel came to me and asked if I would be interested. And I thought, you know, I did an entire quarter studying Title IX in college. I took a public speaking class. I had to give an informative, a persuasive, and a protest speech for Title IX. I thought, you know what, I'm a great example. Like, I can definitely write something. I know Title IX. I benefited from Title IX. But it wasn't until I talked to my mom and realized the opportunities she didn't have and realized how important it was in her life. And how much sport can shape. I'm not trying to make you cry.
I know.
But sport shapes you. You become a better person because of sport. And the fact that women now have those opportunities, it's so great. But we can't forget and appreciate the women that came before us that got us to this place.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason why we're all sat here right now, because we have a passion for sport and we've built our lives around sport and our families. And I grew up playing golf with my family. That's how I found this game, and it's still at the beating heart of our family now. And it's so important that women and young girls, and we've seen so many young girls out here already this week, just feeling so inspired by the opportunities that come through sport, Amanda. And I know you've got a little girl, and I'm sure she looks up at you and she thinks, wow, look at what Mom's doing because of the opportunities you've had.
And it's, I mean, to think that the opportunity for collegiate golf, there's so many scholarships out there and opportunities. Whenever I see a little girl, including my daughter's 2.5, I think, let's get you involved in golf. Just get a love and appreciation for the game. Even when you decide not to play collegiately, play for your high school, or just know and have a love for the game. We had the First Tee program here yesterday on our set, the First Tee program at Washington, D.C., and you could tell they were so excited. They saw Mariah Stackhouse on the 10th green, and they left our set so fast to go follow one of their heroes. And, you know, also because of Title IX, they're going to have the opportunity, if they choose, to play collegiate golf or any sport that they want to. And just that kind of snowballed into what we're celebrating today, even the fact that there is a purse increase that was 300% from 2014. I mean, that's incredible. When you hear Linda Vollstedt say that she only made $8,000 a year doing the same job that the guys coach was doing and making $40,000 a year, it's
just easy to take it for granted. And I think it was an excellent piece. Nicole Gatti and Izzy D. Herrera, who put it together in a features department, excellent work to remind us how far we've come.
Yeah, that's right. And we have got so many women to thank who helped pave the way for us all to be up here today and sort of living our dream.